It's Wednesday, June 25th.
Yes, there's also an expectation, which will be fulfilled today, that the Canadians and the Europeans will speed up their spending.
High expectations as NATO leaders gather in The Hague. The Secretary General says countries are expected to meet the new proposed defense spending target.
We heard bombs. We were very near them, and we were tourists. We were visiting.
First flight out. Canada has now started flying Canadians out of the Middle East.
Who am I? I'm Terry Fox's brother, and he's within me every day, every pedal stroke.
Milestone arrival. Terry Fox's brother Daryl pedals into Thunder Bay on his own cross-country ride called the National Ride of Hope. Stay with us, Canada. Your morning starts right now. Welcome to your morning, everybody. Anne-Marie's away today. I'm Lindsey Deluce.
Hey, Canada, happy Wednesday. I'm Teddy Wilson.
I'm Kelsey McEwen. Thanks for starting your day off with us.
Yeah, hope your day's off to a great start. Let's turn right to the top news stories we're following for you this morning, and we'll begin with some international headlines. Leaked reports are raising questions about the effectiveness of U.S. strikes on Iran's nuclear sites.
He sent B-2 bombers and dropped 12 30,000-pound bombs on the worst facility and destroyed that program.
So the White House claims the strikes destroyed Iran's nuclear program, with U.S. President Donald Trump saying this morning that it's been put back by, quote, decades. But reports citing an early assessment from the Pentagon say the strikes likely only set the program back for a few months. The assessment also suggests Iran moved its enriched uranium out of sites before the strikes, and facilities sitting deep underground are still intact. Israel this morning backed the White House, saying Iran's nuclear program has been set back for years. Canada has flown our first evacuation flight out of the Middle East.
We will continue to be there to support Canadians and to advocate and ensure, to the best of our abilities, the safety and security of that region as a whole.
Foreign Affairs Canada says there were 95 passengers on board the flight from Jordan to Athens. The plan is today to gather more people who want to leave using buses stationed in Israel, the West Bank, and along Iran's border. There are about 6,000 Canadians registered in Israel and the West Bank and another 6,000 in Iran. Ottawa says it has helped about 500 people leave the region so far. A red spruce tree near St. John dating back to the time of Samuel de Champlain is in danger of being cut down.
It means everything to this community, and it would be absolutely devastating and heartbreaking to see it destroyed for an industrial park.
The tree is more than 400 years old. Last week, St. John Council voted unanimously in favor of the industrial park expansion. It would take down the tree and the old-growth forest surrounding it. Experts say there's less than 1% of old-growth forest left in the province, and that the tree is likely among the 10 oldest in New Brunswick. A recent environmental impact assessment found the site was of relatively low value economically and ecologically, but there's hopes this tree can chop down that narrative. The governor of Maine is renewing pleas for Canadians to visit despite U.S. ongoing tariffs.
We're concerned about the so-called tariffs, which are really nothing but taxes on the American people. Let's call it what it is.
Governor Janet Mills is on a 3-day charm offensive here in Canada. She met with New Brunswick Premier Susan Holt. Mills will also be meeting with Nova Scotia's Premier Tim Houston during the visit. The governor is hoping Maine will be top of mind for Canadians when they're thinking of where to go for summer vacation. The latest numbers released by the U.S. Federal Border Crossing showed 85,000 fewer Canadians entered Maine during May compared to the same time a year ago. Well, Canada is through to the quarterfinals at the CONCACAF Gold Cup.
Do so many kicks out of play in Canada, get the ball back. Lovely ball through to Jonathan David. It's 1-0.
Jonathan David and Tejan Buchanan each scoring early in the second half as Canada beat El Salvador 2-0 in the final group stage game. El Salvador started the second half with just 9 men on the field after having 2 players sent off in the first half. Canada will take on Guatemala Sunday night, and you can catch all the action on TSN. Well, to some more sports news now. A new era for the PWHL starts now.
With the first pick In the first round of the 2025 PWHL draft, the New York Sirens select forward Kristina Kaltenkova.
23-year-old Czech forward Kristina Kaltenkova is the first ever Czech-born player drafted first overall in the PWHL draft. She's coming off a standout season in U.S. college hockey, scoring 26 goals in 37 games. The 2025 draft also marked the very first for Vancouver's team, which will play its inaugural season this winter. They took 35-year-old Olympic medalist Michelle Karvinen with their first pick in hopes the veteran forward can help launch their new franchise. Well, Terry Fox's brother, Daryl Fox, has reached a milestone in his ongoing National Ride of Hope across Canada.
I knew I was going to get to this point, and I knew that it would be extremely emotional, and it has been.
Daryl has arrived in Thunder Bay, of course, where his older brother Terry had to end the Marathon of Hope 45 years ago. His team of cyclists started the ride in Vancouver and have been riding an average of 220 kilometers a day. Their ride will end in St. John's, Newfoundland, where Terry dipped his artificial leg in the Atlantic Ocean to begin the Marathon of Hope back in 1980. And the 45th anniversary of the Marathon of Hope is also being marked with a reissue of Terry Fox's shoe. Adidas will re-release the Orion, the running shoe Fox wore as he ran the Marathon of Hope. It's essentially the same design, except this version has the name Terry Fox on the shoe, as well as special laces. Adidas also released the Orion 5 years ago on the 40th anniversary of the Marathon of Hope.